Hello and welcome everyone to Clicks and Classics Night Call. We're back in our taxi in Paris, and last time we had another conversation with ourselves, a little bit strange, and we're still trying to get the judge behind bars. Not many clues though recently. Let's pick up a new client, customer. Like, what do you call them? Please let me know in the comments below. I think this is the politician guy we picked up at the very first. As the very first passenger. Passenger getting in your taxi is the famous polemicist François de Landeret. We've driven home before. He doesn't seem to recognize you. Actually, he barely looks at you. You start driving. He appears to be out of breath. His voice and hands are shaking. Unbelievable. He separates each syllable as if it is going to protect him from the violence around him. Unbelievable. Surprised you of all people aren't speaking up. He raises his voice, it becomes screechy. They're going to take your job away with their electric cars driven by robots. That is what I'm talking about, electric cars. Mere 5 minutes ago I wanted to cross the street. Suddenly, slicing through the darkness and deafening silence came an electric car. Its asphalt-coated tires drove right over the tip of my loafer. It's shot, I can tell. The leather is compressed and streaked with mud and soot. It's a travesty. A travesty. He begins writing furiously. You catch a few words from time to time. What for? For the environment? Create more road deaths? Save polar bears? He leaves you hanging for a second before grinning. Another badly thought out stunt from the snowflake hipster lobby. Quinoa! Quinoa! Yeah, we all need to stop the war on quinoa. Or start a war on quinoa? I'm not sure. It's always fascinating to me that the people who, usually, for the most part, the people who call others snowflake get upset about the smallest things themselves, like quinoa. Electric planes that will crash into Charles de Gaulle Airport without the sound. You hear a throaty laugh. The Earth, safe, intact, clean, but at what cost? No way, Jose. Our planet produces oil, so we must use it. It would be unnatural not to. Unnatural indeed. He chuckles crudely. Rise up in defense of the sweet purr of the convertible, just as they would the hood of the owl in danger of extinction in the lush forests of the Champagne region. Ah, murderer, assassin, the ferocious silence made to oppress us. Puts down his notebook. A wolfish grin spreads across his face. Yes, magnificent editorial. Just magnificent. What about you? Would you want to have a silent car? Of course. Why on God's green earth? Let's just be a little bit snarky. I mean, the obvious answer would be for the environment. And aren't they also working on like sound system so they do make sounds on purpose? But anyway, let's just be a little bit snarky. It makes less noise. Because silence speaks 1,000 words. Silence implies consent, of course. A city without noise is not a city. Mark my words. You drive in silence for a few minutes. In the back seat, the polemicist is fuming. You catch occasional snippets of nonsense. The taxi has almost reached your passenger's place. Just here. You pull up in front of his address, an old building, freshly renovated. On the top floor, the bay windows shine faintly in the darkness of the Eiffel Tower's spotlight washes over them. Your passenger sighs. Oh, the devil, the fools. It's the middle of the night and they're still having the time of their lives. He opens the window on his side and screams at a packed cafe. Jeez, he really is a sweetheart. Like, he turns more and more into Alex Jones. Gay frogs. Gay quinoa. Maybe that's the French version. The heated patio is filled with young people, well dressed and quite drunk. When will you cease this madness? Then turns to you to whisper, as if in secret. Every night they make one hell of a racket. Impossible to get a wink of sleep. Wasn't he just saying that a city without a noise is not a city? Wasn't there something? Must have missed it. He gets out of the car and is in front of the bar in 3 angry leaps. You can hear his voice from far away, a few words and some outdated swearing with a whiff of senility. You stop listening and drive off. Oh. There we go. That was nice. Completely blacked out. Or I think about here is just the contrast of the picture on the dark background. But it looked out like an anonymous face. He has to go home. Well, let's help him. That's our job. The passenger getting in your car is clearly upset. He gives you an address near the Pantheon. You know the address, a residence for foreign students. You often drive American and Chinese students there. You start the cab. The passenger in the back seat is furious about something. Excuse me. He has a very thick American accent. I will not even try to do that. You look up. Can I ask you something? Not. How do the police usually treat black people in your country? We're getting right to work. I mean, in general, what is their behavior like? He isn't very sure in his pronunciation. Answer honestly. Say the police have a problem with black people. You reveal your teeth as you continue speaking. And Arabs. And anyone wearing a hoodie. A hoodie? Yeah, wearing sweats. And if you dress like someone from the poor neighborhoods, they give you a hard time. What does Raquel mean? It's a new word to him. You shake your head. Well, it's a word with some sort of negative connotation. Negative? Yeah, definitely. Gives you a little smile. No, I get it. They thought I was a lowlife. A Raquel? Even with your accent? Well, they didn't seem to understand me very well. Or maybe they thought I was making fun of them. Besides. Give him a second to catch his breath. His anger seems to be letting up. Is everything alright? Gives you a strange look. I don't know. I'm not feeling well. Takes a deep breath. Look, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have jumped on you with that question like that. Don't worry about it. This afternoon, after school, I got mugged in the metro by some guy. His voice drops to a whisper. He was the same age as me. He stole my money and my phone. He raises his voice a little. Luckily, I still have my credit card and my papers. Went straight to the police station and I was there for 8 hours. Tired, upset, about ready to quit. He raises his voice even more. I like France, but it's just as hard here as it is at home. People look down on you because they don't like the look of you. That's the right expression, isn't it? You're not, yes. They say France is the land of freedom and human rights. You have to behave a certain way here too, the right way. He screws up his eyes. I'd like to be judged objectively. I guess there's no such thing as objectiveness. He settles back into his seat. What are you studying? Excuse me? A minute ago you said you were leaving school when you were mugged. What are you studying? Studying to be a mime. Okay. A pause. Go ahead, say it. Didn't say anything. No, but go ahead, I'm used to it. I'm not going to make fun of it or anything, I just didn't know mime school existed. He gives you a big smile. Imagine when I moved to France to study it. My American friends are still having a good laugh. What exactly are you learning to do? Acting techniques, stage production, makeup, anything related to the art of mime, really. And there aren't any mime schools in the US? Perry gives it a laugh. No. That's why I don't want to leave, but it's the only thing keeping me in France. Sigh. France is not for everyone. What do you mean? I mean, the French usually stand up for their country. They are worse than Americans. Country is like a romantic relationship. You can't fall in love with everybody. We have our likes, our dislikes, then we fall under the spell again. It's watching you. Are all cab drivers philosophers like you? You flash a smile. I don't know. The passenger gives a little laugh. Then his eyes glaze over with an expressionless, perhaps even sad look. Thanks, man. It was a good talk to you. He slipped into the formal tu form, no doubt by accident. I have a hard time controlling my anger sometimes. That's why I had trouble with the police today. How so? Well, to start, they made me sit in a room for hours with a woman who was clearly a prostitute. They didn't want to take my statement. They didn't want me to file a complaint. I had to insist. They made fun of my studies, but I'm used to that. A small smile appears at the corner of his mouth. And then when I started to get a little mad when I mentioned the American embassy, they said if I wasn't happy here, I should go home. Certain innuendos were a little... When I got out, there was no more metro, so here I am telling my life story to a philosopher cabbie. He gives you a smile. Cops, they are... It's complicated here. Do they treat you badly too? You smile and shake your head, no need for him to know. Suddenly, the Pantheon appears among the dark buildings. Its white dome breaks up the dull orange and brown tones of the Parisian night sky. The passenger breathes a little sigh of satisfaction. Beautiful, isn't it? No doubt about it. Park in front of the residence where the young man lives. He pays his fare. He stretches his hand towards you. Thanks again. Meeting you was just what I needed. Shake his hand. Is a strong, confident grip. You know, you should film your rounds at night. Make a great series. You answer with a smile. He opens the door, gives you a big smile, then disappears. You hold your arms close to your side for a moment. You catch your breath, try to control the anxiety welling up inside. Give me a mention of police and you start the cab. Okay. Interesting little tour. Let's check out the newspaper. You pull out the newspaper out of your glove compartment and start leafing through it. Eventually something grabs your eye. It's a rather enthusiastic article about a bar named Napo. You make note of the information with interest. In your line of work, that kind of thing can always come in handy. You turn the page and stop. You read about a third of the newspaper. Keep reading. Stop reading and go back a few pages. You thought you saw something. It's an article about the recent police leaks incident that retraces another data leak. 2 years ago, a bunch of confidential police documents were accidentally released. Documents about Roland Besson, Charles Bougrain, and Simon Gourdicher, the judge's first 3 victims. Oh. Intriguing. That is intriguing. You only have a third left to read. Read the whole thing. As soon as you get to the page you stop, your instinct tells you to look at it. You glance at the critique of the great Alicia Cleff's latest collection of poetry. Isn't that the lady that we drove around? The critic seemed convinced, but is curious to know what might have inspired her to write this masterpiece. Shut the paper, and up in the trash tonight. Remember, it's there, otherwise it will spend the rest of its days in the glove compartment. Very nice. That's cool. Pretty good night, I would say. We had to refill our tank, which hurt our budget a little bit. You take a few minutes to update your board with the new clues. Your neighbor flushes the toilet. Out of the corner of your eye, you can see the pipes shake. You crack your knuckles and get to work. Nothing here. Nothing directly connected that we could. Spent bullet case. I still have no idea what to really make of this. Make him too fierce politician. No, I don't know. Not that I can do much about it anyway. The phone rings. You impulsively take a step back. It's the moment of truth. Hello. Hi. Ice cold. So. She heaves a long sigh. There's no background noise. She must not be at the station. Where are you? For a second you think she's going to tell you, but then somewhere, none of your business. A light clicking noise, the sound of a teacup on a coaster maybe. I'm listening. What have you got for me? She clears her throat. Her voice sounds louder, more confident. You glance at the wall. The suspects are lined up. All the evidence, a whole mess of your ideas. Your stomach is in a knot. I have to remind you, you cannot get this wrong. I have a meeting in 2 hours with the district attorney and the chief of the police. Even the Minister of the Interior will be in a corner of the room somewhere. Obviously, I'm thrilled. But I certainly don't want to put too much pressure on you. I almost hear the smirk she must be wearing. You lay the receiver down on the table. Now you have to decide. Oh no. It's so tough. Okay, here's my thought, and it's probably all wrong, but my prime suspects are either Salim Vadian or Paul-Marie Fragonard. Reason is Fragonard has the connection to the gun, and not only was the gun a police weapon of the 70s, which could also involve Piero Battà, since he had a father there. But we heard from the woman at the weapon shop that the gun was also very well maintained, which indicated more of a familiarity with it. So I would say maybe Paul-Marie Fragonard. And for Salim Vadian, he is the one with the strongest motive to do it, because he is a defender of several molested kids in the poor neighborhoods. We learned that there was at least one incident of a victim being accused of molesting kids. That was, I think, the soccer coach, right? So it's, for me, based on the evidence that we have, and maybe I'm completely missing something, but it's pretty much one of the two. The issue that I have is that for him, I don't really we don't really know much about him in terms of what would be his motive. He, for example, is, and these two are connected to the Richterton health scandal, but the issue there is that yes, one of the victims is also part of that, but I mean, he would, if I think about it, he would have both connection to the Richterton health scandal and a connection to the weapon. So maybe Piero Battà's one bullet in the neck. Killing new victims or research them. signs of violence. Death equals execution. I don't know. I really don't know. It's really open. Let me know in the comments below. I mean, I guess we will find out if we are right or not, but let me know what your thoughts are or were, and if it made any sense what I just said. Because I think I will go with Paul-Marie Farjona. Because also we have the connection with his wife being a judge and the whole. Why would it be like a ritual kind of ritual thing with? But then again, the killer fought with victim 1 and 2, and he's ancient. Oh, he is a cop in Paris. Missed that. He is an active cop himself. Well, then, actually, that changes things. That was also a cop in financial affairs. Died 2 years ago. I think actually then he is the because he has a motive connection to at least some of the victims of the Richterdam health scandal. Plus, he knows how to keep up a gun. Plus, he could have used his father's gun. Do it. So let's do it. Pick the phone back up and explain your choice to Lieutenant Brisset. Why, how, the evidence, your sources. She listens without saying a word. When you finish talking, she remains silent for just a second too long. You said she's not convinced. Listen, are you sure of what you're saying? Because between what you told me this morning and what you're saying now, something's not right. I don't like to hear that. No, I'm even more nervous about it. Where does this go? I don't know. But I don't really know what else to look out for. You're sure this is the suspect you want to pursue? Let's look at the evidence again. I don't see anywhere. Let's just do it. Okay then. I'll put my guys on it. Find a way to make all this more presentable. Take a deep breath. She does the same. I'll call you tonight. Try to get some sleep. Oh. She pauses. No way she's going to hang up on such a positive note. No, she's probably going to. Might be your last night of freedom. He snickers and hangs up. You put the phone down, you might as well be standing in the ice-cold emptiness of outer space. You decide to go to bed, to sleep. Best way to kill time. The heavy hands you wipe on your towel face, you slide onto the open sofa bed. Events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, the faces, the problems. I'm nervous. I'm really not sure. You open your eyes. You had a hard night, restless. You get the impression you aged 5 years in a matter of hours. Get up quickly. A few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. At 7. Okay. You exit your place and see Busset leaning up against your cab. Oh boy. He waves at you. Get in. You get in. A metallic taste creeps into your mouth. You and I had a deal. Not painfully. The intel you gave me was total crap. No. Clearly, I should not have trusted you. I mean, we're a taxi driver. What do you expect? Coming with me to the station, we're going to talk about what will happen next. Like a storm, a tempest that destroys everything in your past. Everything. Believe me, the DA is dying to meet you. What happens next? She'll drag you to the station, blame you for everything. Everyone seems to believe anything she says. All the evidence she has is false. The next day, your face is on the cover of all newspapers. Name is on everyone's lips. You are the killer everyone has been waiting for. Fucked. What? Oh, come on. Well, there was night call for you guys. Guess you picked wrong. But I mean, what is she expecting? Goddamn taxi driver. And I felt like my reasoning made sense based on the evidence that we had. But maybe let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your thoughts on the game are. I thought about it, and while I did enjoy it, I also felt like that I didn't want to continue with the game after the judges or the judge episode, or whatever you want to call it, part or case or whatever. So we will end the series here. Let me know what you think. Let me know who you would have picked, and maybe let me know who the actual judge was. I enjoyed the game. I have it kind of dragged a little bit here and there because I didn't really feel like a good sense of progression in the investigation. And at the end of and maybe that was my fault for not finding the right clues, but it all felt extremely vague and kind of a lot like guesswork. But I did enjoy the different stories of the characters that we met, and I did like the style of the game and the idea behind it. And yeah, let me know what you think about it and what your thoughts are. I will continue after the end now of Nightcall with Uncharted 4. We will start that very soon, probably at the beginning of next week, so that is something to look forward to. The fourth installment in the Uncharted series, and I'm very excited to do that. It's been a while now since I finished Uncharted 3. Thank you all for watching Clicks and Classics Nightcall. We will continue with the Clicks and Classics series in the future, of course, as well, so don't worry about it. It won't be too incredibly long until we start the next game, so you can look forward to that as well. If you enjoyed the episode and the other episodes as well, maybe consider giving the video and videos a like, consider subscribing to the channel, share the video with friends, family, and the people on the internet. That all helps me out a whole bunch and will bring you more content in the future. I will be back with more games, not Nightcall, in the future. Until next time, have a great time. Bye bye.